Hi, this is Tristen, and you're watching AMBY.
Hey everyone, it's Alicia from AMBY, and I would like to welcome you to our interview with Tristen. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm awesome. Just thank you for taking the time to join me today.
Of course.
We are here in Toronto. This is part of your tour with Vanessa Carlton. How have the shows been going over?
Really well. Yeah, we've been having a lot of fun. We just started a week and a half ago, so I think this is like this 8th show of, I think, 35 or so.
So it's just the beginning.
Just the beginning, just the tip of the iceberg.
What can you tell me about the tour dog Victor? Apparently gives him some really nice snuggles.
Well, Victor is, this is Vanessa's dog, and he is the star of her Instagram and other social media feeds. And rightly so, because he's regal, and he is very friendly, and he likes to curl up next to you backstage while you're, while Vanessa plays. You're sitting backstage, and he's there to chill with everybody. But he's definitely the mascot of the Vanessa Carlton camp.
That's adorable.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you sent out a tour tweet the other day that I really liked, and the tweet was eating donuts and listening to emo. Hey-o! So which emo bands were you getting emotional to?
No, I was actually having donuts at a place called Stan's Donuts in Chicago, and emo music came on. I mean, I grew up in Chicago, so I grew up listening to punk music and sort of watching all the dudes around me like skateboarding and listening to emo, and I never really connected with that style of music all that much, but I was instantly taken back by like eating really sugary food and and listening to emo in this donut shop. It just felt very Chicago to me.
It was a very exciting time for you because Sneaker Waves is supposed to be coming out sometime this year, but not a lot has been said. This record feels like a very big secret, so let me in a little bit. What's going on?
July 7th.
Okay.
Modern Outsider is putting it out on July 7th, and yeah, we haven't really officially announced anything yet, but that's what's happening, and we're going to announce pretty soon. Yeah, it's been a long time coming. I took a year off of my own music to tour in Jenny Lewis's band as the keyboard player and backup singer, and so I did that for a year, and that was really fun. I got to travel all over the world and just kind of check out of my own music and into somebody else's music, and so it took a little bit longer to put this record out, but we're finally ready to go, and so that's coming up in July. So we're kind of ramping up with this tour.
I can't wait to hear new music from you, because I remember when you put out In Winter Blues, and I just fell in love with the track, because you have such a beautiful voice, first off.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. But there's something about your storytelling, like the imagery in all your songs is absolutely beautiful. So have you always enjoyed telling a good story?
I think that lyrics for me have always been really important. Like, I've always really dug into and been inspired by artists with really great lyrics, and so starting with sort of like the storytelling of traditional country music and 60s rock and roll music, great songwriters of the 70s and 80s. So I've always been into a good story, and also just into lyrics.
They read like a poem, and just speaking to poetry, you have a new poetry book that's officially out, so congratulations on that.
Thanks, thank you. Yeah, I put out a chapbook called Saturnine, and it is 18 poems. It's just a little guy, but yeah, it's pretty exciting. It's a first for me, so something I'll have to keep doing.
How do you know when you're writing if something's going to turn into a poem or if it's going to become a song? Is there like a definitive moment or something happens?
I think that a poem never makes it to song.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and music, you have to be sort of repetitive. So there's sections, and then there's like main ideas, and it kind of, I think with music, I try to take into context the fact that I'll be playing it in a room live for people, and so it has to connect in a room with a bunch of people at a bar or at a theater, and poems are read by yourself in your, the quiet of your home. It's a very sort of lonely experience. So I think that you can be a little bit more serious with poetry, and I didn't really try to sugarcoat anything. I sort of kept it very straightforward.
It's very upfront. I think that's why so many people are relating to it.
Well, in these times, I don't think that that we can be silent or sleeping through. We have to sort of, do what we can to express ourselves and say what we're seeing around us in the world we live in.
One of the bands that you grew up listening to was the Beatles, and they kind of led you to experiment with music a bit. So when you think back to the Beatles tracks, was there one that stood out to you when you were growing up?
My favorite Beatles song is For No One. But, the Beatles were my first and foremost influence, and I think that a lot of musicians feel the same way. But we still think about the Beatles when we're making things like, what would the Beatles do? Or we'll say, what would David Bowie do? So we have sort of our people that we look to say, hey, would they approve of what we're doing right now? And so we try to, live up. We never do, but we try.
Your description on everything is very interesting. It's just Ghetto Kitty, Beast, Queen, Technical Baby. Where did that combination come from?
Well, someone called me a beast queen. I won't say who it was, but I always liked that. I think he might have been saying it sort of an insult, but I was like, yeah, I am kind of a beast queen, So I took it. I was like, great. If that's an insult, I'll use it. And Technical Baby, I think, came from. It kind of came out of a flow where we were talking about things, but I run a lot of electronic sounds from a computer, and so I'm pretty proficient in Ableton, and I got sort of coined in Jenny's band as the Technical Baby, so that's part of it. And then Ghetto Kitty is a poem I wrote, and it's about a stray kitten I found in Little Haiti in Miami. It's a neighborhood, and I found this adorable little kitten and swooped it up off the street. And at the time, there was a girl turning tricks, and there were people selling drugs, and it was a crazy time. There was someone was chased out of the bar with a baseball bat. It was a really crazy night. And then there was just this beautiful little kitten, and we took it and we found it at a home that night. And I sort of thought about the idea of, my background, where I sort of came from a neighborhood where not a lot of people went to college and would sort of get stuck in the neighborhood, and we didn't have a lot of money growing up. And so, and then I was able to go to a really good college and get an education and move to Nashville and kind of get out of my surroundings. Mm-hmm. And so I sort of thought of this metaphor of this little kitten being pulled up out of the neighborhood it was living in, where it might have starved or gotten lost in the shuffle, and sort of pulling it out of that neighborhood because it was cute. And so that's sort of kind of using your good looks and your charm to kind of get a taste of the 1%.
I love how on the surface I read that and I have no idea what any of those three phrases mean, but there's so much beautiful meaning behind it.
Well, that's what I'm doing all the time, just thinking about things. Got to put it somewhere.
Let's wrap everything up. Is there anything you want to leave with all of your fans who will be viewing the interview?
Just love is action. Just keep showing love in your everyday lives. And I know that we're in a really strange time right now. Things in the world aren't going the way we want them to, but to just stay involved, stay active, stay vigilant, and make sure that you're doing your best to show love when you can. All you need is love.
Ooh, I love the way that ended. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you.
It's my pleasure. And remember, to everyone viewing, you can visit us at musicblogger.com for all exclusive interviews, features, videos, and so much more. See you next time.